Hello everyone, Joel Williams here with Global Martial Arts University. If you have been following our Facebook channel recently, you'll notice that I have posted some student tests with instructor feedback videos. That's exactly what this is today. This actually happens to be one of my own tests. This is my test for Orange Belt in the Krav Maga program. So just a little bit of information about what you're about to see. The first video of me is a resubmission of my Orange Belt test. So I had submitted my Orange Belt test. There were some things that I needed to improve and to tweak, and I was having some issues with the format that I was doing my belt test videos in that I needed to correct. So the video that you see of me is a resubmission, and I do the entire test all the way over. So you can see an entire Orange Belt test and what material is covered in that. The video that you see after that is Dustin Koppel giving me feedback on that resubmission. And you'll notice that in that video, he asked me to refilm one of the techniques for that belt level and resubmit just that one technique. So a couple of takeaways from this. There is a high standard for what is expected in your belt test, and don't be surprised if you have to resubmit your test several times. Try not to let that discourage you. I would encourage you to take to heart and really heed what your instructor says. Use that to make yourself better, because if you do and you apply that, it will definitely improve your technique and your skills for that particular belt level. The other thing is that I hope this and the other videos that I've posted would be good examples for those who are maybe thinking about starting a program with GMAU and what the belt testing video submission process looks like in the instructor feedback. For those of you who are maybe new to programs, hopefully this will give you some insights into things that you may be doing wrong, things that you can do better, and maybe a little bit of encouragement for you if you've had to resubmit like I have. So don't be ashamed of that. Again, use that to your benefit, and it's all about getting better and improving yourself. So I hope that this is helpful to you. And before we move on to the videos, let me just say happy holidays to everyone, and I hope that you all have a wonderful new year in 2020.
Coach Koppel, Joel Williams, thank you for your feedback on the last Orange Belt test. So I want to make some improvements this time, and as you know, Trent Prater is my partner, and he's going to come out and help me. And I'm going to get started with hook punches. So we're going to do 3 hook punches, 3 different angles for you to see. And I'm going to mix up the lead hook and the rear hook. So these are very short distance punches. So I wouldn't be stepping in or anything like that. I would already be close to somebody if I'm throwing this. And I need to make sure that my elbow is in line with my arm, and I've got good body sponsorship. So I'm using a lot of trunk rotation and kicking that heel out if it's the front, kicking the back heel out if it's the rear. And that's the hook punch. So we're going to do 3, 3, and 3. All right, next we've got uppercut punch, and again, this is a very short range punch. You would be inside close to someone. So on the rear this time. And then back to the lead. All right, next we've got bob and weave. So bob and weave is defense against someone who's throwing jabs and crosses just punches at you and you're trying to get out of the way using movement. Angle number 2. Angle number 3. Keeping my defenses tight as this is happening. All right, next we've got finger strikes. So this is a combative that would be used mostly to the eyes. I guess you could use this also to the throat. Definitely a soft target. You're not going to be hitting hard targets with this, but eyes would be the primary target for this. So you could temporarily blind someone or make their eyes water so that they can't see you, and would be quite painful as well. Finger strikes. On this angle, I'll show the rear hand. It's like a jab or a cross, but with the fingers. All right, so next we've got defensive front kick. Defensive front kick, this is a long-range weapon. So before someone is in close on you where you would standing grapple or even punch with them, you can use your longer legs to keep them away. So this would be a kick to the midsection, much like the T kick in Muay Thai. And so we're keeping the person away from us and giving them a nice push so we can maintain distance. Front kick. Angle 2. Using that rear leg. Angle 3. All right, and the next kick is back kick. So with the back kick, this would be someone who maybe sneaks up from behind. They may even be grabbing you, and you could kick them. But if they have at least a little bit of distance away from you and not totally right up against you, you can use this kind of in the same way as a front kick in terms of being able to make distance and pushing the person away. So Trent's going to come up and bump me to simulate someone grabbing. And on this back kick, one other little point is that I need to look over my shoulder and see what's back there so that I know where my target is. Because he could be moving around this way and I would need to adjust or turn back into him. And then angle 3. So we'll go from here. All right. Next is thrust knees. Thrust knees is going to be even closer, and this is getting into a standing grappling kind of distance. So if someone is coming in and pressuring you, grabbing you, whatever the case may be, you could grab them wherever you can grab on their clothing. You could grab their chest, you could grab up around the shoulders, etc. But you're going to be driving the knees straight in as you're driving them backwards. So you're really pushing into the person and then making distance, good disengage. And so that's what we're doing with the knee thrust. Angle 2. Next, we're getting into self-defense. We're going to be doing howling. This is a defense against a front kick. So I'm going to be blocking or actually moving that kick out of my way. And I'm going to do a quarter turn to move my entire body out of the way of that kick. And then I'm putting myself on the dead side of that person. So howling. Angle 2. Angle 3. So I'm just using that arm to block and redirect that kick. Sorry. Next we have sprawling. Sprawling would be the defense against someone who's trying to tackle you, especially grabbing you at the waist or the knees or the legs or even close to the ankles. So what you want to do with sprawling is you want to kick your lower body back away and put your weight on top of the person, driving them straight down. And this driving the hips backwards is the escape from the grab that they're trying to get on you. So once you've defended with the sprawl, you can also add combatives before you get up. And third angle. All right, pulling, grabbing the fence from the front and the back. We're going to do front, back, front, 3 angles. This is the defense against someone who is close enough to grab you and they're grabbing, maybe say your shirt or your arm, some part of your body. And this is the defense against if they're grabbing and pushing or grabbing and pulling. So the key points to this technique is to use the frame against their hip, giving you distance, not allowing them to get in close on you, doing the combative slow, the open palm to the groin, finishing with some high combatives, and then getting that distance for safety. Last angle. we've got front bear hug with the arms trapped. So this is going to be when someone is in very close range grabbing you in a bear hug, arms are trapped inside that bear hug. Key point on this one in the bear hug is to get that distance with your hands on their hips. Drive with some combatives. As you break free, throw some combatives up top to make distance. Okay, changing angles. Last angle. Last one. All right. Arms free. Front bear hug, arms free. It's the same situation, but this time arms are not trapped, arms are out. When we do this one, we are going to counter grab. We're going to throw our combatives down low, but we're going to use a cervical. So after we throw our combatives, we're going to use the cervical lock here and take the person down to knee on belly to control them. From that point, we can run if we want to. We can add combatives, whatever we need to do. But that's the long and the short of it. Angle 2. Whew. All right, rear break fall, side break fall, break falls. Reverse angle, rear break fall. With the break falls, what you're trying to do is to lessen the impact of a fall by distributing that impact all the way across your body, the length of your body. And in Krav Maga, we want to make sure that when we fall, we don't roll up. We want to stick to the ground so that we can be ready to defend ourselves when we're on the ground. Angle 2, rear back fall. Moving on to side back fall. Side back fall would be you're tripping and falling to the left or to the right as opposed to the back. And again, we want to distribute that weight. Side fall, side break fall. Two. Angle 3. Next we've got front break fall. And again, that would be if you were jerked, tipped up, whatever, you fall into the front. You want to make sure that you're not falling with outstretched arms, which could dislocate your shoulder. You want to ease yourself down into a push-up position, from a push-up position to the ground, and roll to get up. 3 angles. Front break fall. Angle 2. And last angle. All right, and last we've got defensive ground position. So Trent's gonna help me on this one. When I'm on the ground on my back, he's gonna come up and move around, and I have to track with him. and base from there. So when that person gives you the space, you want to get up and base as quick as you can. And then one from this last angle. It gives me space. I get up and base. All right, moving on to weapons. With the stick, fences against stick. Overhand first. Baseball bat swing second. And then backhand swing third. Overhand swing and baseball bat swing, very similar. As Trina is coming with the weapon, I want to wedge myself in deep and protect myself, get inside that weapon. And I'm gonna wedge myself deep, and I'm gonna want to grab and control the arm, throw some combatives, come down to the weapon and strip it away. And I can do that by simply using a body turn like I just did, or I can do that also with an assist from my leg, which just makes you even stronger. So I'll do a mix of those things. Overhead swing. Okay, another angle. Okay, same thing, but baseball bat swing. Instead of coming overhead, this one's coming around like a baseball bat. Pretty much same technique. Angle one. And with the kick assist. Angle two. And then lastly, backhand swing. So he's going to be swinging it from this direction. And I'm going to wedge myself in just like before. But what I'm going to do is control this arm, pushing against his head so I can strip away the stick. And I have his arm, basically arm barred against my chest. And I'm sliding my hand down to the weapon so I can strip it away. And I can use that push and my chest as leverage. Strip it away. Angle one. Angle two. Okay. What's your best shoulder?
Another one from angle 2 or is this angle 3?
Angle three. Two more. All right, I'm going to add a kick assist to this one. And that is all for Orange Belt Test Take 2. I hope I was able to address the concerns you had. Thank you for the feedback. We really appreciate it. It's helping to sharpen our technique and making us better teachers. And this test is a hell of a workout. See you, Coach.
Hey Joel, how's it going? Dustin Koppel here. Just want to give you feedback. Thank you so much first off for redoing the exam. You know, that's just the way that we like things done. Got to keep it fair for everyone. You know, plus you get a much more workout. I can see where you're at physically and how you're handling yourself and whatnot. So going through it, I got to say, you know, good job on fixing the things that I asked. The hook punch, there was a couple where you're like whipping really good, and then there was some where it was just stiff. You know, try to get that whip in there as we're throwing it. I mean, like I said, some were really, really good, and there's like 2 or 3 that were stiff, but definitely a lot better. Hands up, the angle looked good. Uppercuts good, bob and weave, finger strikes, defensive front kicks, all that looked really, really good. Back kick, once again, you're kind of just from here and taking your leg straight back. Remember, chamber up just a little bit, and then we send our leg back, get a little bit more power in there. Thrust knees, you made a thing where you talked about if clinching, you know, we can do it, and you can grab here, grab there, stuff like, if I'm going to go to the clinch work, I'm going to get proper position. All right, you know, I wouldn't tell someone just to grab the shirt and try to throw a thrust knee. So, because really a thrust knee is, I'm not clinching. I'm just from here, I'm throwing a knee strike, and that's pretty much it. It's like throwing a groin kick or something. There's no clinch involved. But if you are going to clinch, make sure that it is a proper clinch. Side clinch, high clinch, something along those lines. But as far as in the technique itself, I didn't see any issues there. That was just kind of more of a teaching note for you. Hollow-in, sprawl-in, pull defense, front bear arms caught, all that looked really, really well. The arms free, I saw you and Trent both do this, but you guys would sprawl, and then you're kind of like reaching around, almost like you're trying to give the person a hug, and then you're throwing your knee strikes. When I defend, okay, I need to stop them as best I can. So when we do arms caught, we post on the hips. When I do arms free, I want to post on the head. So, you know, I'm trying to get to the eyes, the throat, something to push their head away from me. And then I start throwing my combatives, and then I can take them down if I want to, or continue driving forward and strike. But I'm either going to the eyes to post on, or the chin, or throat. Now, if their head's like really buried, I just pop my shoulder to get my hand in there, and then I'm pushing away. Super important that we do that. You know, reaching around while they have double underhooks isn't going to do anything for you. You're just going to get taken down or picked up. So, got to make sure we're careful about that. Break falls, back position, blunt objects, all that look good. What I would like to see you do is refilm the arms free for me. That's the only one. I want to make sure that we can get that one. That was the only one where I was very concerned about it. So everything, like I said, looked great. Good job there. Arms free is what I'd like you to refilm. If you have any questions on it, feel free to ask. Other than that, take care, be safe.